This video will show you how to sew on a button. So you see, I already have my fabric, button, needle, it's threaded, and there's a knot at the end. So first I need to place my button where I would like it to be. So I'm just gonna sew mine right in the middle. Notice, however, that it's on the front of the fabric. So here's the wrong side, here's the right side. So you wanna make sure you sew it to the right side. However, you're gonna start sewing your button from the wrong side. So if you are lucky like me, you might a little bit be able to see the holes. If not, sometimes you just kind of have to keep poking until it actually goes in. But you push in from the back, you pull it all the way through until the knot is at the end of the fabric. Now I'm going to flip it over. Make sure it's still in the right spot. And now I'm going to go diagonally across. Again, pull it all the way through, flip it over to the back. Now I need to make, so you see I made an X in this direction. Now I need to make an X in the other direction. So I need to find the other hole that I haven't gone through. You can always double check. Oops, that was actually the hole I've gone through. Okay, so that's the one I haven't gone through. So that one is correct now. Same thing, pull, 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 pull. Now put it through the other side. Since you're just sewing your button on as a detail, you could just do it once through the way that I did it here. If you were actually sewing this on for clothing, you would actually go through and I would do at least 4 or 5 X's all the way across. But again, yours isn't going to have stress on it. It's not like it's going to be going in and out of a buttonhole, so it's totally fine to just do it once. So then you would tie it off the same way that I have taught you before. You, of course, make sure you're tying off on the back. We don't want any knots on the front. I'm actually going to go through one more time just to make sure it's nice and sturdy. Okay, so now it feels sturdier. So now I'm going to flip it over, and again I'm going to tie off. So remember, you just pinch a little tiny bit of fabric, pull it through until you have a loop, stick the needle through the loop, and now I'm going to do it one more time. Definitely once is never enough when you're tying off. So in and out, pull it through, and twice should be enough. I'm just gonna snip this right here. Now my button all ready to go. So obviously this black thread is really contrasty. It's very, really sticking out. So typically when you're sewing a button, you would choose the same color as the button. So I would have chosen a pink color instead of this black. If you didn't have pink, you could always do red or something similar. It would be less high contrast. But if you want it to pop out, if you want it to be really obvious, that's fine. You could do it like this instead. If you want it to be really high contrast, I could have even used embroidery thread, which is thicker than regular sewing thread, and then it would have really popped out as an X. Also, when you sew buttons on clothing, you do tend to use it an X shape. However, for this, if you wanted to, say, make a square in the middle, instead of doing an X or doing X and a square, that would be fine. You're just doing this, again, it's not functional, it's decorative, so you can kind of play around with how you stitch.